Fabio Wardley, fight week is here. Don't blink or you'll miss it. Saturday night we've got a big fight lined up. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. Feeling good. The hard bulk of training is out of the way. It's just cruising through fight week now and making it to the big night on Saturday.
Talk to me about the campaign. We've seen a lot of you and Daniel. You know each other pretty well, but the campaign has been long. How's it been for you?
Yeah, but it's good. Like the length of time being able to put into it and being able to not rush things and go through it and have the right timings through everything. And like I say, I've done camps and whichever I've had to rush them. I've done them over long periods of times and stuff. So me and the team are well managed through that. So it's been really good. It's worked out really well.
I want to pick you up on a comment that you gave to DAZN the other week that stifled something of a reaction.
Yeah, I think I know what this might be.
Yeah. Talk to me about it. Did you expect the reaction from their camp about the bin man?
No, it was just an off-the-cuff comment. I didn't say anything negative. I didn't say it was a bad job or it was something bad for him. I just said binman. So I don't know where they've all suddenly gotten up in arms about it and got all upset about it because I didn't say a word negative about it. I just said, yeah, binman.
Do you expect him to sort of bring a different energy to you now? The fact that it seems you've got under his skin a little bit?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think much will change, not between now and then. And if it does, then I think it would be inauthentic. I don't think that would be the real him. I think someone would have been in his ear and been like, right, you need to kind of bite back now.
I'm going to ask him I'm going to ask you the same question I asked him. The show's called Don't Blink. If you land on him, it's over. But what if he lands on you?
It's not over. It's not great, but it's not over. I think that's the difference. I think that's where things are being missed in terms of when the comparisons are being made and between us and our power and whichever else. And we're all heavyweights. We can all hit. It doesn't take a lot past 16 stone, 17 stone. Once you're in them realms, you could be that big or whichever else, and anyone can take anyone out with a single punch. It's not like we're in just incredibly different realms. It's about the man. It's about how they respond to being hit.
We did some social media posts last week where we put polls out across all the platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, saying who do we think is going to win over to the fans. They were all very close. Fabio Wardley came out top in all of them. Do you allow yourself to read into any of this?
Nah, I got my family and friends on it, and they jumped onto they jumped onto all the polls, and they just kept voting.
How many family and friends do you have? That was a lot of votes.
Nah, look, I don't read into that. Like, don't get me wrong, it's nice in the back of my mind to know that people believe in me or I've got support or whichever else, but I can't run in there on the night with that bit of paper in my hand going, Daniel, you need to go down now because that's what everyone's expecting and that's what everyone's thinking. Makes no difference. I still need to go do my job.
It's well documented, but we're going to ask you all the same, just to go over a little bit your journey in boxing. In particular, there was a story that you and I spoke about at your gym a few weeks ago, where you were working behind the reception in the gym, and you get a certain phone call, so you've got to make a decision. If you just tell us a little bit about your journey in boxing.
Yeah, look, it's been a roller coaster in terms of things. It really did take off after a bit of time, and I got into boxing very late, as is well documented, as well known, after having a job in recruitment and working in an office, and then got into boxing, had a few white collar fights, had the opportunity or had it offered to me to go professional way before I was kind of ready. I was real green, but I took it and jumped at it. And things just kind of went from there, and had a couple of fights on the kind of small hall scene. And then I was lucky enough to be kind of mixing with the right people and being around Dylan White and the team and stuff, and they picked me up and then put me on to bigger shows. And it seems like kind of since I've been on there and been on that track, things just rocketed and went off. And next thing you know, I was on big shows fighting at the O2, and I've just grabbed a hold of every opportunity that's been put in front of me. I've not said no to no one throughout my career. I've taken every opportunity, taken every fight. I've been willing to throw myself in the deep end always and just test myself.
And what was the moment that your two careers, your boxing career and your work career, came to meet and one ultimately had to supersede the other? What was that moment, and what was it like for you going through that?
Yeah, it was the moment. I guess that was the moment that I kind of properly jacked in a job and just said, right, I'm just going to do this boxing thing and eggs in one basket and hope it works out kind of thing. But I was working I'd already kind of, before that I was working full time in an office. So I left that job and I went to work part time in a gym alongside doing my boxing. And then came a point where I was asked to go spar in Ukraine with Alexander Usyk for 4 or 5 weeks or something. I couldn't get the time off work. They wouldn't let me have it off. So that was kind of the make or break point for me, just to go, right, well, this is something I want to do, something I care about, something I love. I'm going to throw myself at it and we'll see where we land. And quit my job and flew out to Ukraine, and 8 years later or 9 years later, whichever, here we sit.
So I just want to try and sort of pick into that a little bit. So you go to your boss and go, I need 6 weeks off work to go and spar one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Yeah.
He's currently active, by the way.
Still going.
And he basically said, we can't let you have that much time off. How does that conversation go when you're sitting in, I assume, like an office behind the counter or something, and you're saying, hi boss, I need 6 weeks off, and he says no? What happens then?
I think I said, oh, okay, and then I just kind of sat with it for the rest of my shift. And I said, and then by the end of it, I went to him and I said, right, what's my notice period? What do I need to do here? Like, I'm not trying to take the piss, but I'm taking this opportunity. So what's my notice period? What do I need to work? When do I need to give you official notice by? Because I'm off, I'm out. I'm going to do this. I'm taking this chance. So, yeah, at the end of that shift, I gave my official notice. I think I had to work another 2 weeks or so, and then after that, I was on a plane to Ukraine.
So we fast forward, as you say, here we are. We get to Saturday night. I know you won't allow yourself to look past, and every fighter says that rightly. I don't look past. But what does the future hold for Fabio Wardley? If I have to push you to look past a little bit, what do you want to see in the next 12 months, 18 months?
More fights, more big events, and more belts. All I want to be is part of those big nights and big occasions. I want to be, once I'm done with boxing, done with this whole thing, I want to look back on my career as a career to be proud of, not only for the things I achieved and the milestones and whichever else, but just for how genuinely I approach the sport, of willingness to just compete and not play around and not do all the gamesmanship in terms of, like for example, you're seeing with the Fury and AJ thing, like them two should have fought so long ago and they're just circle and circle and circle. I never want my name to be kind of in those type of conversations. I only ever want the name Fabio Wardley to be in the name of, yeah, he said yes to everyone, he would fight anyone, he always threw himself in the deep end. And look, throughout my career, I'm sure I'll lose somewhere along the line, but ultimately, I'd rather that than know in myself at the end of it that I never tried or never really tested myself.
Is this the biggest fight of your career?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I would say yes from the angle of knowing what would come after, or what is likely, or what has the possibility to come after. But I do think back to the Joseph Parker fight, and I still think that is the biggest fight of my career from a trajectory standpoint of, like, it's different me being at the top of the tree and then losing and then going back, as to that first attempt would be someone like a Joseph Parker. And then if I was to lose that fight, the climb back would have been much bigger. The build back would have been much bigger. I wouldn't have been able to walk straight back into a fight with Daniel Dubois or something like that. I would have needed kind of 1 or 2, 3 maybe build back fights to then kind of have my shot again at the top level. Whereas I've already ticked off one of them top competitors, so there's no doubt or no question where I belong. So yeah, it has a different side to it, but I'd probably say yeah.
Final part, Fabio. Massive week for the town. Where did you celebrate? How did you celebrate?
I celebrated at home on my sofa, just watching them. I was actually daddy daycare as well. It was just me and my little one. My missus was out, so yeah, it was it was silent cheers as well while she was napping upstairs, and I was shouting at the TV, but there was no sounds coming out. So yeah, a different experience than I've had with the boys over the last few years and stuff. Been able to kind of I've been fortunate enough to kind of be shoulder to shoulder and celebrate with them or be there on the day and stuff. So it did feel kind of weird, but ultimately I had a job to do and I've still got a task to tick off on Saturday night, so I'm focused on that.
And what it would be for the actual town if they get promotion and they're here and still at the weekend. What are 7 days?
Yeah, look, it'd be a massive double header, So the boys have done their bit, it's all down to me now.
Brilliant. Fabio, can't wait to see you on Saturday.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.